Okay.
We should really have an intro, you know
It's
that.
your show. You should have an
All
intro.
right. Do you want to introduce yourself, Mr. Delta Wing?
My name is Steven. I am Kay's friend, and this is Kay's show.
Welcome to the show, Steven. Welcome to the
How
show.
to make it awkward 101.
How's your day so far?
Thank you.
That's awesome,
It's
Steven.
been great.
Now,
Just
can you give
ended.
us a little background on what you do, who you are? Just that. Just something.
Well, I drive a semi, unfortunately, and life is great.
So, Steven, how long have we known each other? 6, 7
Yep.
years, maybe, give or take?
I forgot if I keep forgetting if we met in. I think it was like what, 2011.
That's, yeah,
We
that's
were
pretty
playing World of
insane.
Tanks, I believe. And then like a year or so after that, we
Yeah.
started playing a bunch of League.
I, rem-
At least
I,
that's how I
I
remember it.
remember the World of Tanks the most. Um, and yeah, we went to League pretty much. And then I don't know how we made this jump to console.
It was
That's
cheaper.
true.
We didn't have to keep upgrading our
Right.
our computers and stuff.
Well, that's Steven. I am. Most people call me K or Para. I'm currently 22, which is weird to say. I stream. I used to stream full time, but technical issues definitely got in the way for sure. And it sucks. So now we're doing this talk show. I honestly don't know where we're gonna take it, but it's gonna be something, regardless. And it's gonna not work probably, but we're gonna pretend it's gonna work. Fake it till you make it. Am I
That's
right?
right.
Which is why I keep telling everyone I'm a billionaire. Steven, you got $10 you can loan me. Welcome, welcome to our life.
Poor shit.
But yeah, as of right now, I am no longer streaming. I haven't been streaming since the either the 15th or the 16th of July. It's currently August 7th when we're recording this. So it's been a good. It's almost been a whole month of not streaming, which is insane. I started streaming in December, the 1st of December actually. And this man here, who I call him fuckboy. We'll edit that out. No, we won't. Steven,
Nice.
he's one of my best buddies. I've known him for such a long time. He saw this opportunity and he just kind of went with it. And I still don't really understand why. Um, Pretty much.
YOLO.
He's funded this whole streaming career practically, and he's definitely helped with my bills and just pushing me along to become someone better in the video game entertainment industry. So, Steven, thank you for that. You're a wonderful person. You're one of my best friends. And I am happy to be doing this with you today.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
Glad to be here
We
too.
have several friends who have invested into this whole streaming thing in general. And eventually, once, things settle down, we'll kind of start bringing more people on. But as of right now, it's just going to be me and Steven. And I'm not sure what this is, like I said, going to turn into. We're going to have 3 topics, though. And we're just going to kind of voice our opinions on them. I've been told many times that people visit the stream just to talk, not necessarily. Not necessarily for the actual gameplay, but instead a place to go where they could talk and feel welcomed. This is basically that, except a recording. It's not going to be as hands-on, except for Steven. So, Steven, is there
Yes.
any games that you are excited for that are coming out this year, next year, early next year? Is there anything in particular you want to get your hands on?
Well, there's always Black Ops 4, but I've been hearing some
Mm-hmm.
news about it. Cyberpunk comes out. Fucking way too far away to really talk about.
Did you see the trailer for Cyberpunk? It
Of
looks pretty
course, it
nice,
was
actually. I
amazing.
have no idea what the hell the game's going to be about or even anything about it, but
Cyberpunk. I mean, it's gonna be like The Witcher, but like on
oh,
steroids
okay.
and future.
Well, it looked interesting, but it definitely, I'm definitely,
It's kind of like
that's a good
iRobot with Will
comparison,
Smith,
actually.
except instead of Apple destroying the world, it's like what was that movie called?
Chappie was an
Like
amazing
Chappie.
movie. But speaking
That was a
of
pretty good movie.
Apple, what are they? The first $1 trillion company right now, or some bullshit? Hang on. Actually, yeah, Apple is worth $1 trillion, and it's still undervalued right now. It's still
Damn.
undervalued. Yeah. So technically, they're
Serious?
worth more than $1 trillion.
No.
I've never. Actually, that's a lie. I have a Apple Touch.
I don't
I
know
see it.
how.
I can see the appeal of Apple, but $1 trillion, Steven. Could you fucking imagine that?
I still don't get it. Their phones suck. Maybe I shouldn't say that.
See, I wouldn't know. I never owned an iPhone. You know, that shit's expensive still. Like, even like an older version iPhone, that shit's still like $200, $300.
Only thing I remember is being back in high school, using an Apple computer for TV, or not TV,
Yeah.
what was it called? Like Photoshop and stuff like that. And that computer loved to crash at really weird times. And one time was during
Oh,
a
wow.
pornographic pop-up that happened while looking for texture files
Did
for
anyone...
Photoshop. So the ad pops up, the screen froze, and it got stuck that way in the middle of class. Luckily, no one saw it because I unplugged the monitor. It took 3 minutes for the computer to turn itself off. Never
Do
again.
you remember... Do you
Never
remember
again.
what kind of
I
porn
don't want
it
to
was?
touch an Apple. I don't fucking know. It was just like your standard porn thing. I think it was
Oh.
for like Adam and Eve. I'm not sure. It was so long ago. I saw it for like a split second, and I fucking
Nice.
unplugged that monitor.
What is Adam and Eve?
Yeah. It's like a
Oh.
sex toy shop.
Yeah, I just bought my toys.
Yeah,
on
it's all
Amazon.
online.
Thank you, Amazon. Appreciate it.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like...
Well, now it's permanently
It
stuck on your
actually
list.
is. And I remember having to
Nice.
try to hide it from like my family because they were like, "Hey, let me use Amazon to buy something," kind of deal, right? And I'm like, "Oh no! If they check the orders, they're gonna see 3 months back. I bought a fleshlight for $18." And so there's no way to hide that shit. Like, you can't erase it, you can't click it off. Like, there's nothing. And so what I did, being the genius that I am, I archived it so it was off my orders list. But it's now permanently on my archived. I don't know if that's a good thing. Yeah, we kind of got
Rest
off
in peace.
topic there. We were talking about video games. How are we talking about sex toys and porn? I'm sorry.
You
I'm
pulled it to that way. I just said that, Mike.
So other than Black Ops 4
Nice.
and Cyberpunk, is there anything else that you're interested in?
Well, There's always
Yes.
Battlefield 5,
Definitely excited for Battlefield 5.
but nothing else really comes to mind at the moment. I'm sure if I looked into upcoming releases, I'd probably
Yeah.
find something, but nothing
Yeah.
that really
Well,
comes to mind.
do you have any opinions about the next gen consoles, and uh, is there anything you want in particular for them to do, or something you don't like that the current consoles have compared to, for example?
Well, Xbox, if Xbox really wants to dominate the market, they need keyboard
Yes,
and mouse support, and they also need VR support.
I could definitely see the keyboard and mouse support coming. It's already implemented on Minecraft, actually, because it is cross play on Minecraft right now. And I was completely able to just hook up a USB mouse and USB keyboard to the console and play it like I was on a computer. It was
Yeah, like I said, they just need that support for
could
almost
you
every game that
imagine?
releases on the console. Because it would make searching and using their stupid
Well,
Internet
imagine it. It would
Explorer so much
completely
easier.
kill the PC race in general and PlayStation.
PlayStation. Well, it would kill
Cheaper.
PC
Yep.
because the Xbox would be cheaper, duh, and it would have mouse and keyboard support,
Right.
unlike PlayStation. So if they really wanted to dominate the market, that's how they do
See,
it.
I feel like
Mouse and
Xbox.
keyboard. The only reason I throw VR in there is because VR
Yeah,
will take off. It's just time.
that is true. I remember when people said Minecraft was a joke. Now look at it. One of the biggest games ever made now. It's not even a complex game at that, too. But to be fair, yeah.
Minecraft took off so
To be
fast.
fair, though, I could see problems with the whole mouse and keyboard support. Coming from competitive play on like Crossfire, Combat Arms, Sudden Attack, several other FPSs on the PC world, I could definitely see it being a problem on Xbox. For example, a player just coming home from work casually and wanting to play some Call of Duty is going to get destroyed by someone on a mouse and keyboard. Like there's
I've heard
no,
about that, yeah.
well, if the guy with the keyboard was better, no, there's none of that. Mouse and keyboard is so much more precise than the actual controller.
There really aren't enough
All right,
aim assists out there to help
right.
players
And so when it comes
with
to
that.
Xbox wanting to do the mouse and keyboard support, I feel like there's definitely going to be a whole shift in the gaming industry in general. I mean, competitive play is going to be looked at completely differently. An example, I mean, take Rainbow Six Siege. It is played completely differently on a PC compared to a controller, or an Xbox rather less.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a difference in aiming and stuff. I've heard that what was it? I think No Man's Sky even had an issue uh,
Yeah.
bringing their game over to console due to
All
mouse
right.
support not being a thing, and some of their weapons, I believe, needed a mouse. So I can't remember how they fixed that, but I heard that was a bit of an issue while they were
Right.
porting it to Xbox and PlayStation. Aim assist.
And see, I I feel like aim assist should not be a thing, especially when it comes to like competitive play, for example. And that's really the only thing it would necessarily affect negatively when it comes to this whole support and mouse keyboard nonsense. As cool as it seems, I feel like it could also hurt Xbox at the same time, but it's going to be the kind of hurt that doesn't really matter. If anything, I feel like it's just going to add a completely different playing field to just games in general. I mean, I can't imagine, ever touching an Xbox controller again if they added the support for mouse and keyboard.
I don't know, flying jets and stuff feels really satisfying with a
A controller. That is
you know,
actually that is true.
controller instead of
That
a
is
mouse
true.
and keyboard.
But then again,
The triggers make everything kind of nice.
that's true. I guess I didn't think about that. Yeah.
That's my
Yeah, I'm
opinion,
just
anyway.
thinking about it from like a competitive standpoint, or like
Oh, competitive. I mean, ranked play. They could dictate whether you use mouse and keyboard or
yeah, or like give you the
controller, for
option to I
example.
want to find people using controller or that. Yeah, that could work. I would definitely like to see it.
Then I could see videos of people with controller beating the shit out of
All
people with
the
mouse and keyboard.
all the keyboard warriors saying how much better they are at the games than us console players.
I could totally see
At
it.
that point, do you see a reason to own a gaming computer though? If they brought it over to Xbox,
No.
there's like I can't think of really any games on PC that really aren't on Xbox now. I mean, yes, League of Legends isn't there, but imagine if you had keyboard and mouse support. I bet there could be shit to come over.
Steam has a lot of games. There's also a bunch of indie
That is
games
true.
that aren't quite
That is
out.
true. Could you imagine if Steam had a partnership with Microsoft? That would be an
I
insane
mean,
lot of
that'd be a
money.
lot of money. A lot of money.
I don't think that'll ever happen though. That'd be kind of cool, but I don't think it'd ever happen. But I'm hoping that the support does come. I think it'd be extremely interesting just to play a Call of Duty on a keyboard and mouse again. I think that'd be so fun. Or like even like a World of Tanks or War Thunder. I mean, that was meant to be played on mouse and keyboard than a controller.
Oh
It
yeah, and
definitely is.
it still kind of is. War Thunder's really not built for, at least
Right.
not Xbox. I don't know about PlayStation,
Right.
but
I never played War. Oh no, I did play War Thunder on PC, but the tanks weren't out yet, if I remember correctly. By the time my computer, yeah,
when you started,
they
no.
just had the planes, and which it was easily one of the funnest games I played for a free to play. But it's definitely meant for PC.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully, next gen consoles will. I don't know if they'll ever implement the mouse and support on the current Xboxes. I could definitely see it on next gen. Obviously, there's new hardware, and the Xbox One X is the strongest console in the world right now.
Easily.
Now, do you think it's a mistake wanting to think forward already to a new console? At least for Microsoft? Because how are they going to do better than the Xbox One X and still keep it a decent price?
that is true. Yeah. No, they if they release it anytime within the next
There's
year
no
or
way.
two, it's
There's no way.
freaking early.
If anything, to
It's
me,
really
it
early,
sounds
yeah.
like if anything, they would have to have it compatible with the Xbox One X, and the Xbox One in general would have to be able to play with this new hardware. Otherwise, I can't see, someone going out and buying, $600, $700 Xbox. Like even now, $300 for a 500 terabyte Xbox One S is still a little pricey.
I thought it was kind of cheap.
But isn't the
The reason I say that $300 is kind of cheap is because, I mean, look at like the Nintendo DS.
Is it
The thing
really?
still sells for like $200.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ?
that's like something you stuck in your pocket. So for an extra 100, you get a gaming console that runs modern games. So instead of going out and buying a $1,200 computer, you can go and spend $300. I think that's a lot cheaper. Actually, pretty affordable. The only thing I don't find affordable is the game selling for 60
See,
bucks a piece.
what
But
I don't mind is if there's
what can you do about it?
$60, it's all the add-ons after you buy that 60. That's what gets me. Like, let's say Call of Duty, for example. All the in-game purchases, all the microtransactions. Like, I get companies have to make their money, but even still, it's like they're throwing it in your face. Obviously, it's marketing at that point, but if you could, it's just like what EA did with Battlefront. Why spend 60 hours of grinding the game when you could just spend $20 to get it immediately? And I think that's what's definitely dividing players. But then again, microtransactions have always been in games for years now. Except now it seems like the marketing is way more aggressive than it used to be. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
What's another game where okay, not Candy Crush, what the hell is it? You build a fort, it's on Facebook, you send your armies, those type of strategy games. Or like a lot of those.
There's a lot of those,
I
though.
don't know if Warframe does it. I think they do, where, you're going to go build an item, and it takes like 6 hours, 6 to 8 hours to build it. Or if you put in an item, it's automatically done building. I'm pretty sure that was a thing. I don't remember. It's been so long since I played Warframe. But it's the aggressive marketing that I think is killing the games, because they keep shoving it in your face. I think it also depends on if the game is even finished for that $60. You know what I mean? Like even No Man's Sky, horrible launch, but this recent patch, it made the whole game completely different. I mean, we've just recently started playing No Man's Sky, and we weren't there for the initial launch, but anyone who's a gamer, anyone who, was online, just even on YouTube, people knew about No Man's Sky and how horrible it was and all that. You know what I mean? So it's games that have the ambition, but the developer's not putting it to its full potential, basically. That's what I don't personally like. And what it comes down to is just inexperience, and some people would just say greed, but I don't know. I mean,
any way they can milk an extra dollar for someone is a dollar that they make.
That's right. But I don't know. I have hopes for Black Ops. If it's a Call of Duty, there's not many microtransactions. Of course, there's always going to be the crates you could buy for, the super rare, snipers or, rifle skins. Just, it's mainly cosmetic items, it seems like. But in terms of like World War II, for example, there are actual different guns that you could earn from these crates. And it sucks for someone who, one, for me, I'm not lucky at all. Like, luck is not on my side when it comes to crates. And I'm not trying to spend, $20 to fucking get something that's not guaranteed.
Well, that's one thing that I'm just gonna put out there, is that I find it absolutely stupid that they make certain content pay to obtain.
Yes. I kind of like Fortnite's way the way you could get items with their season pass, like $10 this month, and you can unlock all this new shit as long as you play the game, though. You know what I mean? You buy into it, but there's still that grind where you have to earn it. I like that. I think that's it's a cool way to, like, we know you want this new content. You obviously like playing our game. Just throw us something for the time that we use to make this content. that's fine. But when it's like, oh god, let's say World War II, $60 game, played the dick out of it, but it's not worth any of its expansions. Especially when you could just get the guns through a crate. The only thing you get out of, a $20 expansion pack is like 6 maps. Who the fuck? Like, why? You know?
Yeah.
I think this is why I'm really looking forward to these newer games coming out. I know Black Ops is doing their whole. They're basically doing what Fortnite's doing right now with the you pay this much a month or season or whatever the fuck they call it, and you have access to this new content, but you still gotta grind for it. I like that. I like that idea. You know, it doesn't seem like there's any pay to win. It's just, it's basically just like buying an amusement park ticket. You know what I mean? Admission. And which,
Yeah.
after $60, depending on what version you even get, which is one thing I don't personally like. I don't like how there's different versions of games like platinum, diamond, gold, silver, and then there's regular. You know what I mean? Like, what happened to just regulars? Like,
Yep.
okay, here's the game. There you go. Granted, I know that pre-orders have always been like, oh, you want to get this pre-order. You got to get the pre-order to get the extra content kind of deal. That's always been a thing, even since like Halo 2 kind of deal. But even still, now that everything is more digitally, I think Rockstar got in trouble like a month ago because they offered it wasn't cosmetic items they were giving out to people who bought this like $100 bundle. It was like an actual like side mission and like several things that actually end up affecting the game kind of deal. And a lot of people are pissed off like
Oh,
we're buying the base game, but people get other options that affect base game if you shell out another $40. You know what I mean? And so it's just
yeah.
stuff like that, which Rockstar has been very good. Grand Theft Auto has been amazing. Granted, I don't really play it anymore, but even Red Dead Redemption was like one of my favorite childhood games growing up. Like that was one of the most amazing games I personally ever played was just Red Dead, and even still they had the Undead Nightmare or some bullshit like that, which was basically a whole nother game for like $20.
That's one game I haven't
I
played
would
yet
highly
is Red
recommend
Dead.
it.
It's pretty
In
good.
fact, I would still say it's like a $40 game at this point, just because you could just tell it's Rockstar. You know how Rockstar has the ability to tell a story in such a certain way it just sucks you in. That's Rockstar, and it really
Yeah.
shows.
They did real. Like Grand Theft Auto 5 is really the only Rockstar game that I've played in
I would
full,
highly
and that was
recommend
a really
Red
good.
Dead.
That was
Highly
really good.
recommend it. It was amazing. Like one of the most amazing games I think I've ever personally played. The story, the way the game felt in general, the things you could do for how old the game is was absolutely amazing. And so with the new Red Dead Redemption coming out, which I am so excited for. Oh my god. I hope they do right. They haven't messed up as a company, so I don't feel like they're gonna mess up, but I'm worried. Every company today seems to be doing a cash grab at this point, and it sucks. Yeah, it definitely
They
sucks.
they
And
are.
for
Yeah.
like one thing I will buy on like a game is like one thing that I personally like is can we go back to Call of Duty again? Is the fact that they have a microtransaction for a veterans charity, and it's like $5. You get like a
Yeah.
skin and like another little thing, but that money goes towards a charity. That I think is awesome. I have always bought it, regardless of the Call of Duty, and it's never something that I'm like, wow, I feel like I got gypped. You know what I mean? Like if the money goes to help someone
Yeah.
else besides like the actual developer, then I'm fine with that. You know, I bought their $60 game and I see it like a charity kind of item. I'm like, okay, you know, $5 ain't bad at all. And so if it's stuff like that, I think, you know, it'd be fine. Or like Counter Strike, for example, has their whole skin system, which I really like. I like that you could just buy a skin and it doesn't do anything to the actual game. It's just a cosmetic. But yeah, that was a good little rant. A little bit. No, that was like
A little
30
bit of a rant,
minutes.
yeah.
I know. Should we go on to the next
Damn.
topic, Steven? Are you ready?
Sure, yeah,
So,
I'm ready. I'm game.
with this little podcast we're going to be doing, our second segment is going to be something personal, something, you know, story wise, or just something that we could all, like, I don't know, relate to in a way, I guess. I mean, we're all human in the end, and we all do stupid shit or something. So, this is kind of the
Yeah.
time where there's a jet flying over. Nice. This is kind of where it's just like we bring it down to a more human level, I guess. And
Okay.
I guess we could both tell a story that we would like to tell. And I know you already said your porn one, which was amazing, by the way. But is there anything else that you know you want to share? And this doesn't have to be a long segment. It could just be you say a story, then I tell a story, and it's just that kind of thing. Just something we could talk about.
Don't really have anything on the top of my head.
Um, trying to think of since we're on the topic of games, maybe let's see. There was one of my best friends in real life. His name was Paul, and me and Paul lived behind each other. So like, we would like climb over the fence to hang out, or it was just really easy to hang out. And so, me and Paul were friends for a long time, and we did a lot of stupid shit together. But we also really liked video games, right? And that was one thing that we liked. In fact,
Yep.
he was the person who introduced me to League of Legends, surprisingly. And he was a Kennen main. He was one of those players. Like, all Kennen people are either really bad or, like, really insane. He was the insane type. And so, I don't remember who I was playing. I was probably playing, like, Ash or someone just basic. And I was just kind of just hanging out with him. And in our old house, we had this computer room, and it's exactly what it sounds like. We had like 5 computers just in one room, and that was like what we do when we would hang out. Is we'd like ride our bikes, get some food, go to the gaming room, and that'd be it. And so, um, me and him hung out almost every single day. At what it seemed like, anyways. In reality, it was probably like 3 to 4 times a week. Um, But it was so often that me and him had this genius idea to cut a hole in the fence. Now that sounds like a good idea considering how often we hung out, but the way we did it was retarded. Because we were on a incline. So it wasn't we were like on the side of a hill, so the fence was already stressed out, right? And we
Yep.
were in between basically the whole neighborhood. So like it was just one huge fence that covered like 10, 20-ish houses, and then obviously you divide it to the property line, right? And so what we did is we
Yep.
were kids, so we didn't know what the fuck to do or how to cut wood or anything. So what we did was we got baseball bats. Now, if you're trying to make a hole in wood, you don't use blunt force. You use like a saw or something that can maybe cut the wood. Me and Paul were not that bright. So he was on his side and I was on my side. and we would just take these swings at this fence to create like a little doorway. And what ended up happening is the whole fence ended up shifting in such a way that it was leaning towards his side of the yard. Needless to say, we broke off two planks off the fence, and it was just enough for them to squeeze through. But the problem was, now it looked like we had a ramp going into his backyard. It was leaning that much. Yeah, it was wonderful.
Nice.
And I remember before we finished, my dad, I think it was his dad that caught us, because, we were smacking wood on wood practically, and it was very loud. And he was like, "What the fuck is that noise?" Keep in mind, we were doing this for like 2 hours, because we're not smart. We were not very efficient at smacking wood on wood. But he comes out and he's like, "What are you doing?" And we tell him this idea, and then my dad comes out, and my dad's a little more like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, we're doing this." And my dad looked at his dad, and they just sighed. That was the only reaction. You know the reaction when, like, your parents mad at you, but it's like such a kid thing, they can't be mad. Like,
Yep.
Putting a hole in the fence. It's the okay. I'm disappointed, but it's fine. It was that. It was that kind of reaction.
Yep.
And so I remember us being kids, and we were like, who cares? I'll fix it. Little did I know they had to replace basically the whole inside of the fence because it was so bent out of shape. And it was like, it ended up being like a week's worth of repairs because they had to take out the old fence and put in this new fence because it was leaning in such a way. And they had to dig new posts and all this other shit. And of course, me and Paul are like, we played this one game. It was called like Boxy Kill or Boxy something. But it was like a zombie defense game on like, it was either like Not Doppler or like Miniclip. I forget what it was, but it was like a flash game. And that's all we'd play. Meanwhile, our dads are like using nail guns and digging holes, and now that I look back on it, we were assholes. Yeah, I hope
Just a bit.
my kids don't do that, because I ain't putting up a fence. Like, I ain't doing it. I'm sorry. The homeowners association is gonna have to contact me personally. They're gonna have to walk in my house and tell me, you need to do this because your kid's a little fuck. Even still, I might not do it. I'm probably gonna have to be taken to court about it at that point. And even still, I'll probably hire someone to do it for me.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever popped the hole in the
I
fence.
wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but it was fun. It was fun. It was something different that we never did before. And it was just like, we didn't necessarily get in trouble, but we were told if we ever did it again, we're going to be in trouble. I'm saying that in a nice way. In other words, our dads just told us they're going to beat our ass if we did it again. Yeah, so moral of the story,
Nice.
do not put a hole in your fence because it might be actual worse than what you do. That was good English.
Do not do because
There
you
you
may
go,
not
that's right.
like what you do. Yes.
Do you have any stories, Steven? Any stupid thing from when you were a kid?
Trying to think of something, but nothing really too stupid that comes to mind.
There's nothing in particular you remember that you did with like a friend that like makes you think today like maybe I shouldn't have done that kind of deal?
Didn't really have friends.
Yeah.
I was one of those guys.
I apologize.
Tis the life.
It's okay, buddy. Now you got me. That'll be $50.
That's right.
Okay, you know what?
Unfortunately.
You know what? I hope you get cut off by another old lady.
Guy. It was a joke. They get cut off all the time. That shit sucks. That's probably why all those truck drivers have those big bull bars in the front, just in case. You
Oh
know,
no, I smashed someone.
person in front is driving just a
I
wee
smashed
bit
someone.
too
Good thing my
slow.
truck ain't damaged. It's basically what they're for. But... Well,
Yep.
since
I want
you don't have a story, I guess we'll get to our third topic, and that's going to be what's going to be coming into the future. What should people be expecting with streaming, YouTube, just stuff in general that will be happening, you know? And
Yep.
Steven and I are working on a plan to somehow get a laptop here that I can stream on. So far, it's been a fucking struggle. Just a straight struggle. But in terms of what will be on the stream, I know for a fact we'll be doing Battlefield, Black Ops 4, Red Dead Redemption 2. I personally want to go through a playthrough of Kingdom Hearts 2. I really love the game. I was so happy when I found out it was coming to Xbox. So I'm definitely going to be picking that up probably. But as terms of what's going to be happening that is obtainable right now, we probably will be doing these podcasts maybe once, maybe twice a week. And once we kind of figure out what, and I say once we, I guess it kind of counts because Steven is bad at talking apparently. I forgive you. It's fine. I forgive you.
I'm
This
awful.
is why I am a streamer, and this is why I can talk for 5 hours straight. Anywho,
Yeah, that's kind of why I never
I
went
kind
for
of
it.
just can't stop talking once you get me going. It's very awkward. Thank you.
Good shit.
This
Hey,
is our
Doc.
friendship. Like, I wish it wasn't this awkward. This is honestly how it is, day to day.
Yeah, but most of the time we're playing
Yes,
games,
we
so
don't
we're
realize
actually
how bad of a
preoccupied with
friendship we
something.
actually are. That's right.
Best friends forever.
The question is,
I heard
Steven,
that.
what am I kidding about?
Bitch. Our friendship was alive.
But yeah, in terms of what will be coming is we will be bringing people on for another opinion and what people think, and we'll have more screen effects and just kind of right now we gotta work out the kinks. This is just kind of YOLOing it literally. But Steven, am I gonna be able to go back to streaming eventually?
That's the plan. I don't know about a set date and time, but that is the plan.
And basically, we're just saying we have not given up on the streaming. It is still a thing. We still want to do it. I still have the passion to stream. I personally love streaming, and I miss, everyone who was a part of it. I made a lot of good friends, and overall, we're going to be doing a lot more to get more involved with the streaming community in general. Going to be posting a lot more and just being around more often than what it was. And Steven is basically one of my sponsors, so gonna have to work for that money. Damn. If only streaming was as easy as sitting down, playing a video game, and getting paid.
And I told you there's a lot of editing, and you gotta make sure your fans are happy.
That's right. So we'll do a couple more episodes of this before we start changing stuff up. But I figured this is better than nothing. And we're pretty much wrapping it up here. 45 minutes ain't too bad, Steven. That was pretty easy. That's 45 minutes right
That
there.
was already 45
That's
minutes?
pretty easy. So
Right.
I just want to say thank you to everyone
shit.
who has stuck with me and has the patience to wait for the streams to come back. I appreciate it so much. I know Steven, he loves you guys, and he wouldn't be helping me as much as he is if he didn't believe in this whole streaming thing. So I don't know what Steven sees, but it's technically working. Technically. But on that note, I just want to say thank you to everyone. I miss everyone. And there will be a comeback. I'll say that much. Anywho, this is Para, K, Paradoxin, whatever the hell you want to call me by. Bitch Titty. That's from Noel. Just want to say thank you again. I love you all. And people who aren't from the stream watching this, you're probably like, what the fuck is this? You're probably not even listening. Why am I addressing you? But I love you. I will see you guys on the next one. Goodbye. Steven, say goodbye. You gotta say the
Peace.
Middle East. You gotta say the Middle East. Steven,
Bye. Bye.
You gotta say peace in the Middle East.
What?
Goodbye.
Bye, guys.